All right. Last but not least, number 5. All right, you guys have heard from 4 people before me. Do I look different than them? Yeah. How? Can you name a couple things maybe? Yeah. My hair? My hair's purple. Good job. What else? My tattoos. Exactly. Cool. All right. I have another question. Do any of you know what I do for work? Yeah, I do. Do you know what I do there? No? Anybody else? I used to do hair. Yeah, I actually bartend. Do you do you know what bartending is? Yeah, where I make your drinks for you. Yeah, yeah. So you're no, your dad knows nothing about that. Yeah. So your Shirley Temples or your Roy Rogers or your old fashions. I feel really loud. Okay. So I do that. Uh, who knows of Jesus's first miracle? Abel. Yeah, so they were at a wedding and they ran out of their wine while they were in the middle of their celebrating. Nobody wants that. They want to keep, like James talked about, and Dasha and everybody, they wanted to keep partying and celebrating. Okay, how about that? Good. Okay. But they ran out, so his mom came to him and she asked him to make more wine. And he turned water into wine, the best wine. Okay. And I want to point out something from that passage. It's in John 2. At the end of the story, it says, and his disciples believed him. Okay, so I want you to keep that in mind too. So I believe I was saved, but when I started working at the bar, I wasn't actually really walking with the Lord. I was living according to what the world's standards were. I cared more about my identity from the world, like you've heard from the other speakers, than I did about God's. Okay. Um, so I'm working there. It's providing me an opportunity to party, to have fun while making money. But during that time, going to church, Matt and I met and we were dating and then we got married and we were going to church. People were walking alongside with us because he also worked with me there. And I realized I needed to stop caring about the world and care more about what God was doing and wanted me to do. And I started actually walking that out instead. I became unsatisfied with the world. In that, God didn't ask me to change my hair color back to brown. He didn't ask me to cover my tattoos or get them removed or dress a certain way. He actually used my outward appearance to draw people in. When you go to a bar, most people, from my observation working in a bar setting for the last 12 years, is that most people are going to escape, escape the things that they're dealing with, escape the feelings, to numb and to have fun. They're sad. A lot of people are sad, but they don't know how to deal with that sadness. And so being there, God allowed me to just love on people, to show them from my love that God loves us. And he opened opportunities, the last thing they were probably expecting, to share his gospel with them and my testimony and how he changed me and how he can change them and he loves them. Lacey talked about it. He used her. Daniel talked about it. James talked about it. Dasha's talked about how God has used her. In fact, there's actually people here today because of meeting me in the bar. And if you turn around, I bet they'll raise their hands. That's not because of me, though, you guys. That's because of God. I'm just going to say that's God's glory, not mine. So it's my mission field. You know what a mission field is? Or God sends you somewhere maybe within your own country, maybe it's another country, maybe it's your own hometown, maybe it's your neighbor. And he uses you to share his love. Yeah, Abel. Yeah. Yeah. God called Jonah to go to Nineveh. It's what we're learning about right now. He didn't listen. He didn't want to. He wanted to get away. I listened when I eventually realized I was being called. So I'm not glorifying. I don't want you guys or any of the parents or adults in here or watching to think that I'm glorifying bartending. I'm not doing that at all. I'm just saying that it was a place that God knew he could use me to reach other people to share who he was with them. And it wasn't easy. Being in that environment was not easy. It's a dark environment, figuratively and literally. It's dark. So we had to bring God's light into that darkness. I made mistakes. I still make mistakes. I'm not perfect. But God used people, my coworkers, my customers, people in the church to help sanctify me and lead me into a deeper relationship with him so that I could do the same for those people that I came into contact with at my job that he did in me. So to be used by God, you have to be in right relationship with him. You have to be obedient to him. Like James said, you need to meet Jesus' standard, not the world's. God can redeem, and he does redeem, which means he uses it in a good way, our outward appearance to draw people to him that wouldn't normally come. I saw someone on my Facebook page share this post, and I therefore shared it, and it's been shared as well. And it says specifically, Jesus ate with sinners, not because he wanted to appear inclusive or tolerant and accepting. He ate with them to call them to a changed and fruitful life. Jesus calls for transformation of life, not affirmation of identity. So in other words, Jesus wants to change you and transform you. Do you know, y'all know what a caterpillar is? Yeah. So what happens when it goes into its cocoon? A change, right? Yeah. Yeah, so it takes a little bit of time, but in that, the caterpillar is changing into this beautiful butterfly. So like the caterpillar, Jesus is doing a work in all of us, in our hearts, to change us into something beautiful. So I actually want you guys to go home today after church, wherever you go, and talk with your parents or your siblings, talk with your friends. Ask them or talk about how you recognize how Jesus has changed you, transformed you. Okay? And then I'm just going to finish with 1 Samuel 16:7, when Samuel is being called to go find David. God tells him that people look on the outward appearance and judge, but he sees and judges us by our heart. So it's not what you look like, it's what's in here, how you treat people, how you love people. So I want you guys to be encouraged by that. You're colored hair, all of you, okay? God can use you wherever you're at and whatever you're doing, but you have to trust in him and you have to be obedient to him and love him. Okay? Thanks.